Overlooking Tunis, the Africa Corps here are dug in, they're holding the ground. They know they're going to be reinforced. They are still a difficult force to deal with, a difficult nut to crack for the Allies. The one strength they have is defence in depth. They are not going to give up this high ground if they possibly can avoid it. A vicious firefight. At the moment, they have the edge. That's not air cover, by the way. That's would be nice. You see the parasite. All right, we open attack. Here we go. The Germans are trying to put down the defenders. Right. Germans are taking fire, and now we come. Here we go. The infantry going in. Suppress and overwhelm. Suppress and overwhelm. Come on, guys. Keep the heads down. Keep moving. They need to force the Germans out of their initial frontline trenches. If they can do that, then they have a real chance of holding the heights. There's some movement there. The Germans are moving back. The Germans are moving back. This is not a rout, ladies and gentlemen. This is a prepared move. They know full well where they're going. They have a second line of defence. This is pre-prepared, pre-planned. The Sherwoods have occupied the frontline trenches, but the Germans are now able to lay down fire on those trenches. They know, for instance, precisely where they are. So the Sherwoods are now going to be in danger of things like mortars being laid down on precise positions that the Germans already have been very, very successful in the opening years of the war in North Africa. Far superior to anything the Italians have had, for instance. Heavily armoured. You remember David was saying that one of the reasons that the Germans worked on developing a heavier caliber tank gun was because their standard anti-tank gun couldn't penetrate the armour on this particular vehicle. Matilda is mounting a 2-pounder. Now you've heard of those in action, you know how good they are. Straight drawback, it fires solid shot, and we don't really need solid shot at this point. What we need is to be able to lay down high explosives on the German positions. But nevertheless, the Matilda can cover the Sherwoods in any subsequent advance they make, because, oh, there we go, laying some shot down. Oh no, they didn't like that. There they go, there they go. But again, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a rout. They know perfectly where they're going. They've got a third line of defence. Defence in depth. This is very, very much from the German playbook. If defence in depth is on page 1 of the German playbook, page 2 is counter-attack. We know they're going to counter-attack. That is a given. It just depends what they can bring to bear for that counter-attack. At the moment, the presence of Matilda is giving the Sherwoods an advantage. There's nothing the Germans have got here that can penetrate the Matilda's armour. So it's going to be a continuing firefight between the Sherwoods and the Africa Corps. We've got Matilda there as an ever-present support for the British advance. Ah, hang on. Is that a hit on the Matilda? Or one of their handheld anti-tank weapons, Ah! No, more Allied armour coming in. This is the M5 Stuart. It's a light tank. It's mounted, it's very thin armour. It's mounted that 37mm gun, which is a standard American anti-tank gun, and it is an American vehicle. Obviously, this indicates very early link-up between the Torch forces coming from the west, advancing eastward, and the 8th Army, the Sherwoods, advancing west from El Alamein. Now, at the moment, the weight of armour is very much in favour of the Allies. Here comes the M5. The British Navy used the earlier version of the Stuart, known to the ex-army as the Honey. And as we can see, that British Army is allowing the Stuarts to advance. They're now into the forward towards the second line of defence. It looks as if the Germans are attempting to flank them. They've got a half-track position there. Mounting heavy machine gun MG32, MG32. Whoa! More incoming rounds. This battle is not going to by a long shot. In fact, the Sherwoods are pulling back to the front line of the German trenches. They're obviously suffering from enfilading fire from that German. It's very evenly balanced. The Allies have got some armour advantage, but they don't seem to be able to push further ahead. And now it looks as if the reinforcements that the African Corps were waiting for have arrived. Coming in on the flank of the Stuart, we have a Panzer III. Pretty much the standard tank used by the African Corps in North Africa, along with the slightly heavier brother Panzer IV. This was mounting a 50mm gun. It will certainly have the measure of the M5. Now, the Sherwoods have made it to the... they haven't. In fact, it's the Germans who are falling back to their final position. Now, the presence of the Panzer III is shifting the balance back towards the African Corps. They're flanking the Sherwoods. Backing up the final line of positions. The shot come in has hit the M5. This whole battle is hanging on a knife edge. Hitler's much promised reinforcements are arriving. 504th Heavy Tank Battalion from Panzerabteilung, Panzer Mark 6, the Tiger. Tiger, I can tell you reading its registration number, this is the platoon commander's tank from the 3rd platoon of the 1st company of the 504th. That gives us the turret designation 131. Now the Sherwoods are pushing ahead as best they can. They don't really have a lot of opportunity here. They're fighting out in the open. At the moment, there is nothing on the battlefield that can stop that 52nd-ton monster. Now, the Tiger is perfectly capable, as you can see, the Allied arms effectively being knocked out. The Tiger is capable of explosion. Oh, he's had another go at the Matilda, just to make sure. In effect, the Sherwoods now have no armour support. The Tiger can go where it wants on the battlefield, it can do what it wants on the battlefield, It's capable of firing by explosives from that 88mm. It can also flank and enfilade the Sherwoods using its coax machine guns to dominate the battlefield. There's only one hope. One increasingly slender hope. Where is 48 RTR? Where are they? This battle is being swayed by the very presence of a handful of German vehicles, including Tiger 131. Now the Sherwoods have no anti-tank artillery in support. They have their own anti-tank weapon, projector infantry anti-tank, Piat. Right. There's the man who's going to do it, Sergeant John Oscroft. And his number 2, his loader. He's creeping as close as he possibly can to the Tiger. 15 yards maximum, 10 yards for favourite, 5 yards even better. He's going to fire this right down the throat of the beast if he's going to have any hope of stopping it. He's got one shot, but at the moment they seem not to have seen him. Go on, Sarge. Make it count. It's almost as if the whole battle is fired, and it's skidding off the turret of the Tiger. It hasn't made a clear. The locals here have spotted something. Yeah. There it is. Yes, it's for the Churchill 48 RTR. Churchill 3 has well done. As heavily armoured as the Tiger. The problem is the firepower. The Churchill 3 mounts a 6-pounder. Now you see the 6-pounder in operation here. We know that that's a serious bit of kit. We know that the first Tiger knocked out in North Africa was knocked out by the 6-pounder, but that was a ground-based 6-pounder attack gun. This is the 6-pounder in the Churchill. Now the Sherwoods, at this point, are barely aware that 48 RTRs arrived. He's knocked out the Panzer III. That's even the score a little bit. The big cat's still up there. Sherwoods are taking matters in their own hands. There's a captured French 75mm anti-tank gun down here, which the Germans have been using. The Sherwoods have got it round. And bearing in mind their infantry, they're not gunners.